y'all. I'm Ellen. We've been super inspired by our journeys of self-healing and discovery.
And I'm Sam, and we want to share our experiences with you to help you get curious about yourself, reconnect, and get intentional about your life so you know what makes you happy.
Welcome to Woo New, the podcast. I'm really excited to introduce our guest today, Holly Emmerson. She is a dream oracle. And honestly, this is the first time I've heard that role or that title before. So that's why I'm so excited to talk to you. She's also the creator of the Dream Oracle School, which we're going to dive into as well. But welcome, Holly. Thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me onto your podcast.
Oh my gosh.
Man, I think it was forever conscious that I stumbled across your name and your work for the first time. I think it was your article. It was dream interpretation,
Yes.
or like learning your personal dream language, which was super fascinating. And Sam and I had gotten like a little kind of like a brief taster sort of. I don't know how you would describe it. It's like a short intro into dream world and dream interpretation.
Into dream world.
Through our conversation with Mimi Young, who has a presence up in Vancouver, and her shop is called Ceremony, but she's a shamanic. She does shamanic journeys and also dream interpretation too. So she was teaching us a little bit about it, but I'm so eager to dive in with you because this is what you do. You really focus specifically on dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes. All dreams, all the time.
It's been such a, I don't know. I just feel like dreams have been talked about so much more this year with COVID going on and with all the other things going on in our world.
Collective energy has been so crazy.
Yeah. And today's our election day, which is, I've been having crazy dreams also just literally since, really the full moon back in October 1st, but I mean, it's been happening all year, but,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm curious, are you noticing that trend also where you are and with the clients that you're seeing, and what do you think is kind of causing this resurgence and this interest in dreams?
Yeah, it is fascinating too, because I have witnessed that as well. Even just watching movies and TV, there's so many more references to dreams these days. And so I think it's wonderful, because I think dreams are so magical, and I think we need to be talking about dreams more. And I think that it's time that we return to this knowledge and this wisdom that we can access while we're asleep every night. And so I think that's part of the reason. And then, like I said, just it's becoming more mainstream in the different content that we're consuming out there.
So I have a question for you about that,
Mm-hmm.
actually. What is the difference between, for example, a dream reading, like the taste that Ellen and I got a few months ago, versus an actual dream oracle? And also, I know that this is a practice that's been around for so long, since the time of the Egyptians, but very few people know about dream oracles. So how did you discover that you had this gift?
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know what Mimi Young does, but it sounds like she does dream interpretation. So she'll take a dream that you've had and interpret it for you. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So what I do is I believe that we all dream in our own personal dream language. So there are common elements and themes and archetypes that one can draw on to do dream interpretation for somebody else's dream. However, I believe that if you and I had the exact same dream, it could mean something completely different, because we each have our own interpretation of symbols and experiences and people and feelings and places than the next person.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is I do the dreaming for the client. So they'll ask me the question, whatever it is that they want to inquire about within their own life. And then I go to sleep and I dream in my dream language, get the messages for them, connect with their spirit guides, in the dream world. And then when I wake up, I connect back with my client and then share the information that way. So that's how I do my dream oracle readings. I do dream interpretation, but I do it differently than other people. And how I do it is I actually have a conversation with them and try and extract and try and understand some of the elements of their personal dream language to put the pieces together for them. So it's not my interpretation of the dream, but it's about uncovering what their language is that they speak in the dream world to make sense of their dream.
Wow.
Whoa.
Does that make
That's
sense?
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I
So
okay.
many questions.
I know. I'm like my brain is like exploding right now. um, first of all, like, okay, so you dream on behalf of somebody, and so I'm assuming that the language is your language, but you're
Mhm.
receiving insight and wisdom on behalf of someone else, but in a language that you can understand because of who you are.
Mhm. Yeah. So basically, I work with my spirit guides in the dream world and my higher self. And then my guides will connect with my clients' guides. And then my clients' guides basically tell my guides what the messages are. And then my guides speak my language because they know my language
Right.
and communicate that to me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
How Go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Sam. You're
There's
gonna be
so
giving
many
us
things.
the whole hour.
Um, so how do you set that intention before you go to sleep so that your guides know who you're dreaming for?
Yeah. So I have a specific process that I do when I'm working with clients. And so I know how to access them through the dream world. And also, this is just training that I've done in the dream world. And so I just know how to find them in the dream world, if that makes sense. It sounds very abstract. Um, but yeah, that's how. I can connect with them in the dream world, and they've also given me permission to connect with them. And so I don't ever, ever, ever connect with somebody who doesn't want to be connected with, and I only um, go in to get the answers for the questions that they've asked, nothing more. So they basically, agree and give their consent, and then I can access them.
Have you encountered spirit teams that were, not wanting to work with you on behalf of
That's a
somebody?
good question.
It is a good question, and the answer is actually no, I haven't. I have had some situations where, the client is resistant to the answers because, it's like when you wanna know the answer, but then at the same time, you don't wanna know how much of a hot mess you are or,
This
like,
is the story of my
whatever.
life.
You're like, "Let's just stick on the surface." I say I wanna go deep and do this healing, but really, it's a little scary, so I've had clients in that sort of energy where it's taken maybe a couple nights or 3 nights to get the answers, where, the first few dreams I have were kinda dancing around
Ah.
the answers, but then I can get them.
Wow, so it definitely depends on the individual as well and their readiness to
Mm.
receive.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
So how did you discover this?
Yeah, so super random. Because, like you, I had no idea that this was possible. I had no idea. This was not even on my radar at all. And the only thing that was on my radar before discovering this was just that I was interested in dreams. And I remember when I was young, I would write dreams down and try and understand them and look up different things in dream dictionaries, but nothing really kind of landed with me. And so I just kind of left it for the longest time. And then 4.5 years ago, I started working with this teacher and doing some healing work with her. And she is long distance. So she would just say, "Oh, by the way, just so you know, we do this work in the dream world. It's called night school, and I do it 3 days before our one-on-one session, and 3 days after, she's like, "You're probably not gonna remember this, and it doesn't matter, just know, just a little FYI." And I remember thinking, "Wow, that's pretty crazy." Like, this lady
Mhm.
sounds like she could be a little quacky. But, I'm like, "Okay, we'll go with it." Like, I don't know, who am I to judge? But yeah, let's do this 'cause, yeah, I really liked her, and so that was kind of that. And then,
Wait, can I
um
ask what kind of healer she was or what type of modality it was?
it's really hard to explain the type of healing she does because the type of healing she does is very different, and there's not actually a term for it. Like, it's not like Reiki or something that we would know or easily recognize, but she she does all kinds of healing. She can do different spiritual healing as well as like even body healing. Like, if you have an illness in your body, she can actually remove it if it's um, karmically possible for you to remove it. So she
Wow.
does all kinds of interesting stuff like that. Um, yeah, and so after I'd been working with her for about a year, she was offering this like sacred site tour slash retreat to Egypt.
Whoa,
And so I was like, this is a yes for me.
the
Instant yes,
dream.
sign me up, gotta go.
Wow.
So I went, and this is where all these activations within me started happening. And this is where I actually remembered night school for the first time. It just like my dream world just opened up in a different way. Like, I'd always been pretty lucid in my dreams, and sometimes I'm able to control my dreams, but I'm conscious in the dream world and I know I'm dreaming. And
Hmm.
so it just took my dreams to a whole nother level. And when we were there, we were at the temple of Hatshepsut. And Hatshepsut is, if you don't know, she is the only female pharaoh that gained full pharaoh status in ancient Egypt.
Mhm.
And when we were at her temple, my teacher kind of pulled me aside and was like, "Hey, did you know that there was these oracles that used to work for the pharaoh? And what they would do is they would go to sleep and go into the minds of the quote unquote enemies to find out what their plans were to overthrow her. And then they would wake up and they would tell her the plans. And this is how she basically was able to reign for as long as she did."
I'm getting total chills right now.
Yeah, that's
I know, I was
so
like
crazy.
I know, I was like, "That is wild, like, how is that a thing?" But I was like, "Okay, cool." She never told me that I was one of these oracles. She was just like, "FYI, these oracles existed." And,
But she knew already, didn't she?
Yeah.
she knew. This is the thing with my teacher. She's like, just leaves these little breadcrumbs for me to, like, kind of figure it all out. And like, 6 months after, so I started diving more into my dream world, and then 6 months after this trip to Egypt, I actually had an Akashic record reading, by somebody who I'd never met. Again, it was a long distance thing done over Skype, and, she was just like, "Oh, what do you wanna know?" And I said, "Okay, well, what lifetime do my guides want me to know about?" And so she's like, "Well, there's this they really want you to know about this time when you were an oracle in Egypt and you worked for the pharaoh and blah, 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 blah,
What?
blah." She
What?
literally said basically word for word what my teacher told me
Oh my
Oh my
god.
when we were in Egypt. And then also she said that I was an oracle of Delphi, which my teacher has also told me. And these two people don't know each other. And I never
holy
told either one what the other said. And so it was like super wild and crazy. And I was like, okay, so this is a thing. And so I started to also discover, I listened to this podcast that interviewed this lady by the name of Connie Kaplan, and she has the belief that our dreams actually are collective dreams because when we go into the dream world, it's a collective
Mm.
space, collective consciousness, which makes a lot of sense. And
Yeah.
so I started shifting my dreams to look at my dreams from the perspective of the whole, of the collective. And instantly I started seeing the messages. And so I just started sharing these messages on social media, and it started resonating with people. And then my mother in law actually contacted me one day and was like, "Can you get a dream message for me?" And I was like, "I have no idea. Let me try." And
Wow.
so I tried and I got messages for her. And then I just started practicing on other people and I started talking to my teacher about it more. And she was like, "Oh yeah." Like, and then she started like teaching me all these things. And also much of what I've learned is actually learning through the dream world in night school. And so that's kind of how it all evolved. Very random.
Wow.
What
I know.
so a lot like, seriously, my whole body is, like, lit up right now. Oh my gosh, and that honestly, like, Holly, that doesn't happen to me. That usually happens to Sam a lot more, but my body's, like, totally, like, on fire. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
I'm actually taking that as more of a personal sign that I need to work with you in terms of, like, I've been thinking about doing your dream oracle school, and we'll get to that as well. I really wanna know more about that, but I'm taking this almost as a sign that that needs to happen. Um, holy whoa. So the okay, so the how to, I mean, it sounds like, with a lot of these types of, modalities and gifts, it is very much a personal sort of journey and just kind of stumbling through it and really finding your way. But I'm curious, did your teacher work with you directly to kind of almost kind of give you sort of
Like hone those
steps?
skills.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
I think she did in night school, and I wasn't consciously aware of it until I started talking to her about it. And then she was like, okay, Holly's ready to start talking about these things in this reality, not just in night school. And so, yeah, it very much was uh, a journey. Like it's taken me my lifetime. I'm 40 years old, and it's taken me to my late 30s to really start discovering this. And I didn't even think I had any quote unquote gifts. I always thought I was just like a muggle in a sense. And I was just like, well, I guess I'm just like doing my healing journey and that's it. Like I'm not going to be exploring, clairvoyance or mediumship or anything like that. Like I just was like, yeah, it's just I didn't think of it. It literally came to me after I'd done my healing. And that's what I think was actually what spirit was waiting for was for me to get to a certain place within my own growth in order for this to open up.
Can you tell us that story? Like, how did you
Yeah.
even get into that journey? 'Cause it sounds like Sam and I probably have a lot of similarities or, just similar stories with you too, 'cause you were in the corporate environment for a while, weren't you?
Yeah, yeah. I was in the mortgage industry in Canada for about 10 years or just over 10 years. And yeah, my life was really, okay, so I was that hopeless romantic, and it was love that actually put me on this path. And it was my desire for love. And I was such a hot mess in love and relationships. And so that was the catalyst that like was like, okay, I want this, I want love so bad in my life. I'm going to heal. I'm going to uncover all of my wounds and heal my wounds and find love. That was my goal, and it was never about, spiritual gifts. It was about
Mm,
spiritual growth and, like, healing my inner child, and that's what actually set me on the path.
wow. Were you in your were you in your early or mid-20s when that was happening?
It was late teens, my entire 20s, and early 30s.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
always, I mean, I think you're totally spot on when you say that, spirit is just kind of waiting for you to
Ask the
get
right
there.
question.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
and,
Yeah.
um, and it's a matter of time before things just start really kind of unfolding and revealing themselves to you. Um,
Wait, so when I lucid dream, I wake up and I'm quite tired still. Do you feel
Mm.
rested after you do all of this work at night? Or
I
that's a great question.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I do now, but in the beginning, I didn't. And I actually share a meditation or like an exercise. It's more of an exercise that you can do in the morning to just basically bring all of your parts, like all of the little fragments of yourself back to yourself. Because sometimes when we go into the dream world, we're going off in different places. Like you might have a dream and you're remembering one thing, but your soul is going off in all these different directions too and doing all
Mm,
these different things that you need to do. And so it's about like bringing all those pieces back to you. It's called, like, calling yourself back and calling yourself back so you're, like, whole and you're
Yeah.
grounded and you're here, and
Or
that's what I do.
defragmentation.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So that's what's happening.
That would explain a lot. That's exactly how I've been feeling, particularly this past month in October. It was just always like waking up every single morning and just feeling really exhausted, and that it would take me a good, I would say, like 30 minutes of just laying there in bed and breathing and just waiting for like all parts of myself to come back into my body, essentially, before I felt ready to
Yeah.
get up.
Yeah, so I have, the little exercise is on my YouTube, and it's also on my IGTV, so I can share the link with you and your viewers,
That would be
listeners,
amazing.
so they can just access that and use that whenever they want because, yeah, that's a thing, it happens.
It's
Wow.
huge. Yeah, it'll change your energy for the whole day, sometimes weeks at
Mhm.
a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I always say that, people always wake up and they talk about, their motivational morning or like hacking their morning so they have a great day, but I actually believe it starts when you go to sleep. Like
Mhm.
setting your intention for going to sleep, that's actually how you set up your day for the next day and your life really.
Absolutely.
Can I ask you to like, can we dive into night school and just
Yes.
unpack night school? Okay, so what is it, first of all, and what do you do there?
So, night school is a place for your subconscious mind. So, it's really not meant to be consciously understood because it's so deep. And oftentimes, our conscious mind, A, isn't able to understand it, or B, ready to understand it. So, I'm sure that there's different night schools that your soul is just automatically drawn to and automatically participating in whether you're conscious of it or not. And so when I work with my clients, I have a night school with them. And then also with my school, I actually have like a classroom set up in the dream world where my students come to each night in the dream world and I share teachings there. And it ultimately it helps with integrating what we are doing on like in this reality. So with for my school, for example, it helps them with the teachings that I'm teaching in the school, deepen the integration into their being, into their soul, and ultimately it trickles into their conscious mind. You can also, for example, when I'm going to night school with my teacher, we might be working on different healings that my subconscious or sorry, my conscious mind isn't quite ready to process. So we're processing it on a subconscious level. So it makes it easier for my conscious mind to process it when it gets to that point. Does that
Have
make
you
sense?
ever Yeah, it does. I do have a question though for like
Yeah.
so more often than I don't dream nearly as much as Ellen. I mean, I'm sure I dream, but I just don't remember my dreams. But even my lucid dreams often I can remember very little, if anything, of it, even before I get out of bed, like as soon as I wake up. Have you ever had students who ran into that problem but still really wanted to explore this? And like, how do you work around that?
Yeah, for me, it's been like most of my students who come to me, they come to me as dreamers. I just did an enrollment now with my school, and there's some that are wanting to remember their dreams more. And I feel like I found even for me personally that we go through stages in dreaming. And when we're more consciously wanting to tap into our dreams, it wakes up. And it's like a muscle that you exercise. I've always said remembering dreams is like that because I found that myself personally. Is like I went through a phase when I didn't really do anything with dreams. And I would wake up and not pay attention and they would just be gone. And then I started to actively um, use and set the intention that I was going to remember my dreams. And then also in the morning, I would practice different techniques to remember my dreams. And then they started to be there.
Hmm. So it's a process.
Hmm.
I have been in terms of setting intentions, I've been setting them at night. Like the nights where I consciously go to bed, because there's definitely some nights where I'll just like pass out on the couch and then remove myself and move myself to the bed, later on, which is not healthy, but it's COVID and everything.
Yeah.
But the nights that I do go to bed consciously, I will lay there and I'll actually kind of basically speak to my spirit team and just say, please speak to me tonight. And help me to like speak clearly and help me to remember what it is that you want me to know when I do wake up. And I think what you had described as like, your soul kind of going off into all these different places. I will remember bits and pieces and snippets of certain dreams, but I know that so much more has happened. And so I'll just jot down in the morning, like just the parts that I do remember. I will sit there for a little bit and kind of meditate on them to see if a deeper meaning will be extracted, particularly for those that feel a bit more abstract and I'm just not quite sure what I'm supposed to get out of it. In those cases, it just sounds like you are kind of, I'm sure this is obviously a skill that I can continue to refine, especially going to your Dream Oracle school. But I'm curious, like, are you sometimes almost not meant to remember? And it's kind of like what you were saying with night school. It's working with the subconscious first to try to embed whatever information needs to be taken in first. And then slowly over time, will that message or that wisdom finally integrate into your conscious?
Yes, 100% that sometimes we're not meant to remember everything. And so it is about trusting our individual processes and our individual dreaming cycles and whatever it is that we're experiencing in our life. So if you are setting an intention like that, and that's a powerful intention and so helpful. And it's just about, if you wake up in the morning and you don't remember your dreams or you remember fragments and you don't understand what it means,
Mhm.
when that happens to me, I just let it go and just trust that the parts of me that were meant to understand do understand. And the
Mm,
parts of me that needed to receive that healing did receive it. And then I just carry on.
okay. That's
Mhm.
actually really helpful. And when you were talking about night school too, it sounds to me like, okay, so I love that you have a classroom in night school that you kind
I
of
know.
created.
So cool.
Yeah, can we kind of dive into that a little bit? Like how do you do that? Is it purely through intention?
Yeah, it's intention, it's my soul, it's my guides. It's like I always say that my business is more about my guides and what my guides are doing than it is me. Like, I feel like I don't really do anything. I execute on actions and there are things that I do, of course. However, everything is really up to my guides.
Mm.
Everything is up to spirit.
And the way that you've sort of like kind of built out this night school, like essentially what you do in night school is very much kind of just being told to you and it's you're receiving those messages. Is that right?
Yeah, and it's like it's all facilitated in the dream world, that portion of the Dream Oracle School.
Are there nights where you just can't
I
dream?
know.
you know, it is something that I am always very mindful of, which is setting my own boundaries with this work.
Mm.
Because every night when I go to sleep, I'm like, I want to get messages. I want to work with this client. I need to do this. Da, 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 da. I have this list of things. And I just like, I need to stop sometimes. So I really try and have like dream hours where it's like Sunday through Thursday, those nights I will work, quote unquote, in the dream world. And then like Friday and Saturday nights, I do my best to not set any intentions.
Oh, so is that
Mm.
basically how you do it? Like you just basically like don't set the intention to connect in the dream world and you
Yeah.
leave sleep through.
Yeah,
Wow.
my night school is always going, so that's kind of on autopilot, and there's parts of my soul that just run that and spirit. Um, but I am so that's always happening, but I'm my intention on like the Friday and Saturday nights is more about like
Recovery.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is, oh my gosh, I'm so fascinated by this whole thing. Like, what are some of the things that your clients come to you for? And like, what have you found dream like oracle readings are the most helpful with?
So the type of readings that I will pretty much like prefer to do, and I want to say only do, but it's really about uncovering what my clients' blocks and barriers are around whatever it is that they want to create in their life. So I like to go into the dream world to uncover the blocks and barriers so they can more deeply align with what it is that they want to manifest or create or embody or whatever it is. So I won't ask the dream world, when is this person going to meet their soulmate? Or should this person change careers? I won't do anything like that. I always position my questions to be empowering for the client. So if it is somebody who wants to find love in their life, I position it to what does this person need to know, do, or heal in order to align with their highest vibrational partner.
Hmm.
Um, if it's like a career question, for example, it's really about clarity. So, what does this person need to know, do, or heal in order to deepen their clarity and trust in themselves or trust in their intuition in order to, you know, take the next step in their life?
So do people come to you for like with very specific questions, or do they tend to be a bit more like the area of their life that they're concerned about and essentially like, how to move forward?
Yeah, they're definitely not specific because most people don't position their questions that way when it comes to, getting a tarot reading or going to a medium of some sort. And so I'll work with my clients beforehand to fine tune their question and see if that feels right for them. And
Mhm.
then once we've landed on the right question, the right intention, then I'll go into the dream world.
Gotcha. And is there work on the client's end, like to prepare while you dream for them?
Nope, they don't have to do anything. They just go to sleep and do their normal routine, and yeah, they don't have to do anything different.
Wow. Are there any like stories in particular that like jump out or were like really inspiring for you as you started getting into this work, that you might be able to share with us?
Yeah, it's funny because even now, oftentimes when I do a reading for a client, because I actually prefer to really know nothing about my client. Like I I don't like working with people I know anymore. I like working with complete strangers where I just know like their name and birthday and that's it, where they are in the world and that's it. And it always makes me nervous once I get the messages because I'm just like, how do I know all of this about this person around this, this topic or intention? And it always kind of freaks me out because I'm like, okay, so I know this person had this happen with their mom when they were a child, and this has caused this domino effect in these areas, blah blah blah, and I'm always nervous sharing this information, and then every time when I contact them and share the information, they're like, "Oh my gosh, that's like bang on, and I can't believe you knew this and that." And sometimes I even know things where they don't even have a conscious memory. Like I had this
Whoa.
one client
Wow.
where I said, "Okay, I had this vision, and it showed this incident that happened when you were a child, and this incident caused you to store that as trauma in your digestive system." And she was like, "Oh, that's so crazy. I don't have any memory of that at all." And then she was actually going to her father's like a couple months later and was going to ask him about it, and then he just automatically started telling her about this incident that happened when she was a kid. And she was like,
Wow.
"This is so crazy because this was what Holly told me in a reading." So there's
Whoa.
been weird things like that that's happened.
Wow. I mean, that synchronicity is like, whoa.
Yeah, that must be so validating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest, like when I first started sharing dreams, It felt really weird, and it felt really weird talking about this and saying that I have this gift and, like, sharing it with the world because I really felt very alone in this space, because there's not many people who approach dreams the way I do and talk about dreams the way I do, and so, yeah, when I started working with clients, it was pretty weird because I was just like, "Oh my gosh, like, what if they just are like, no, we have no idea what you're talking about, and that doesn't resonate at all."
Oh, yeah,
You
totally.
know? So,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
How did you get over that? Because I experienced the same thing with my shamanic
Constantly.
journeying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I actually started keeping, like, a journal of I call it, like, magical moments, and I write down magical moments that happen to me, whether it's just, like, in my life, in my business, the synchronicities with clients, and then whenever I'm feeling insecure, because it still pops up every now and then. I'm still human. I'm still learning and growing and shifting. I will refer back to that magical moments journey and remind myself, like, okay, what about this? What about this? What about this?
Oh,
So
that's
is
a
this
really good
insecure belief
practice.
true? Yeah. And then it's
Wow.
like, then I'm like, okay, so maybe this belief that my mind is telling me isn't necessarily true because of all this. So
Yeah. Wow, what a good
mhm.
idea.
Yeah.
I'm totally
I
gonna
think
try
I'm
that.
Yeah, do it.
seriously, me too. How is your, I have to ask, like, how does your husband, um, ha deal like, I don't wanna say deal with it as if it was a bad thing, like, how does your husband, like, accept your gift?
Oh my gosh, he's so great. He's so supportive. He's awesome. I don't even know how to like there's no other word, but he's just so great with it. Like he's just my biggest fan. So,
Oh.
yeah.
Did you meet before you actually started doing this, or did this come through after you guys had become a couple?
No, we met before. We were both in the mortgage industry together in Vancouver, Canada, and we met through work. And so, yeah, this came after.
Wow. And he's just been open like, so he saw it he's been, like, there witnessing this entire journey.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah, I
magical.
know.
I
He's
love
also
that.
been like, "Wow, that's, like, super random." I think
Yeah.
at first I think at first he may not have believed me, but he was just like, "Okay, tell me about your dreams," and then I would tell him, but then it was like when these synchronicities started happening, he was, like, blown away too. So he's like, "Okay, this is a thing."
Wow. Have you ever
Mhm.
done readings for him?
I have, but they have not been around anything major because we're too connected.
Yeah.
I'm too emotionally invested in him, and
Mm.
I don't want to manipulate or control him. As much as I do, I don't. you know, so I've done things when he's been sick, and it's like, okay, how can he get rid of the sore throat faster? I'm like, let's just see if I can do that, and I've gotten some insights like super basic things that I would never go into the dream world for. I'll do that with him, you know. Yeah.
Has he wanted you to go in deeper for more, major things?
No, he hasn't. No, he's very spiritual, and he also just has his own process. And so, yeah, we talk about spirituality and we share kind of, where we're at with things, but we both have very different processes in how we go about healing and the tools that we use.
That's
Hmm.
really awesome.
Mhm.
Honestly, to have that it's like a built-in boundary or a respect, that you have with each other. That's super cool to see.
Yeah.
I'm, like, storing this for my own personal, like, personal benefit. Um, I'm curious also, okay, so when you do dream and this kind of starts to dip into your own personal language, how do you dream? Is it in I mean, I know dreams are abstract by nature, but, you know, it sounds like you have to do quite a bit of interpretation on your own also to be able to retrieve the message. Is that right?
Not not necessarily actually, because there's so many different types of dreams, which is a whole other conversation. But when I'm working with clients, I get it's like they're like these oracle dreams in a sense where I will literally see the dream and I'll be conscious in the dream. And there's like, it's like, say you're watching a movie and you know this movie is for the client. And then this download of information gets pushed into my being. And everything
Whoa.
that I'm seeing makes complete sense in like faster than a second. And so then what I need to do is wake myself up and like compress all of this information because when we're in the dream world, we are literally dreaming and experiencing with our full being. And our human mind and human body is very limited in what we can actually process. And so it literally has to like funnel down into something that my human brain can
Mhm.
understand and usually because it's so much information it'll wake me up instantly and then I record the dream and the message for the clients.
Have you
So
ever forgotten a message?
Um, I don't think so. I guess you don't know what you forgot, right?
You've never, like, woken up and been like, "Oh, shoot, I didn't record that
No.
before I
No,
forgot
it
it."
hasn't happened.
Like, do
No.
sorry, do you have to record them to remember them? Like, do you forget them after a certain period of time of being awake, or do you just remember them because they're so vivid?
Well, I wake up throughout the night, so I
Oh.
record them throughout the night. So I have an Apple Watch and I have like as soon as I touch the screen and hit the button, it starts recording. So I will talk to my watch in the middle of the night several times and record
Wow.
everything that way. And then when I wake up, I write it all down in I type it out into um my folder for my clients.
Wow. So you're, like, legit working all night.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I guess when you put it
wow.
that way, I am.
Coming in and out of sleep state, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is yeah, it sounds like a lot, but I'm just so used to it now, and it's interesting because I can still wake up and I feel rested and rejuvenated, which I think is the grace of spirit. Because 'Cause they're like, "Holly won't do this if she's exhausted all the time, so you have to make sure that she also is rested and rejuvenated."
Honestly, okay, I'm so glad that you shared that because just a couple of nights ago, I had one strange night where I think I passed out early on the couch around 10 or something, woke up at 1 a.m. to try to move to the bed, could not fall asleep again until 6 a.m. It was just like, and I
Mhm.
don't normally get insomnia, but, and then from 6 to I think maybe 8, I slept again. And yeah, this was just a couple of days ago when I drove out to the mountains and I was reflecting as I was driving, like, wow, I do not feel cracked out the way that I would have, normally losing 6 hours of sleep or whatever, and having this kind of like, piece by piece kind of sleeping pattern. And my first thought was, I think my spirit guides are kind of, you know, I think it's their work that
Mhm.
is keeping me, energized and like, and there's something that
Mm.
happened, and I dreamed quite a bit that night too, in the short bits that I did sleep. But I really think that there is something having to do with my spirit team, kind of involved that kept me from being so ultra tired and just tapped out.
Yeah.
Um, which would happen when I was, working a lot or something, just feeling super exhausted the next day as if like kind of hungover. So yeah, I'm glad that you shared that because I do, it's actually making me think that, okay, there is a connection there.
Yeah, 100% there is. And one thing that I found with this and I love that you made that kind of aha on your own, because I totally believe that you can dream yourself awake, and you can use dreaming as a spiritual practice and a spiritual tool to help you awaken. And, that's an example, like, how you realize that your guides are constantly there to support you and constantly there to help you, and even in the dream world, because they are. And I just think that's really cool that you made that aha for yourself.
Oh my god, you
Wow.
guys, my crown chakra just like lit up. That was so crazy as you were talking. I was like, "Oh, she's onto something."
Are you are
Yeah.
you are you doing multiple, are you basically are you working for multiple clients in one night?
No, I typically work with one client a night. Sometimes I'll do, because I share dream oracle messages on my YouTube channel and Instagram, and then I also am a part of an online portal where I contribute readings for. And so sometimes if like I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, okay, this client's complete now, then I'll switch my intention and then I'll work on like a collective message. I've done that before, but I haven't combined two clients on the same night.
Okay. And it's basically just to kind of keep it clear and does it get
Mhm.
kind of confusing or it gets kind of jumbled if you do kind of work on 2 people at once?
No, it doesn't really get jumbled. I just haven't had the need to work on 2 clients in one night.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and it just yeah, when I feel into that question, it just feels like it's best to just have one client tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I get that. Do you ever like
Mhm.
nap in the middle of the day to get an answer?
I have, yeah, and sometimes I'll actually nap in the day just for me.
That sounds good.
Yeah, yeah. Like, sometimes, like, when life is hectic and things are feeling more stressful or overwhelming, then I will nap just to allow my subconscious to process what it needs to process for my own well being. So, napping is a great tool,
Hmm.
just in general. I'm big
Yeah.
fan.
What have the messages, or are there any kind of, I guess, like big themes that have been coming through the messages for the collective lately, particularly in this like kind of fall, like the last couple of months that you've noticed through your dreams?
I feel like when I'm reflecting on the messages, they've all been really around like self healing, self boundaries, um, shedding. There's been a lot
Mm,
of shedding old patterns, shedding beliefs, shedding what we thought was true or what we embodied for ourselves. And maybe it was true at one point, but it's about releasing that and stepping into the new. There's
mm,
been a lot about that. And I think it's been coming through so strongly because right now we're all collectively being called to really rise up and really awaken into our truth, as we all
mm,
know. You know, like this year
yeah.
has been so crazy, and it's so important for us to look inward and how we can shift our own world within ourselves and therefore shift the world around us and what we experience.
What advice would you give somebody who wanted to connect in more with their dream state and dream world? Basically, receive messages through their spirit team, through their dreams, and just be more conscious.
Or
I don't
even
even know if
just
that's
meet their
quite
spirit
right.
teams.
Yeah, yeah. Is there kind of almost like like the first layer of what you should do to even start setting intentions and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think the first thing to do is start with a dream journal. Start recording your dreams. And if you already do record your dreams and you know you dream a lot and you've got that process, I would start setting intentions, one intention at a time for a series of nights until you can kind of see patterns or themes coming up in your dreams. I would start with that. And then from
Can you
there,
give us
you can.
an example of an intention for someone who's not used to doing that or new to this process?
Yeah, let's see. There's a lot of different sort of examples, but I guess if somebody wants to connect with their dream or connect with spirit in the dream world, so you could set the intention of, you know, tonight I want to consciously connect with my spirit guides.
Mm.
You know, like
Mhm.
you would and being open. That's another thing too. So setting the intention of, what it is that you want. So let's take that example of consciously connecting with your spirit guides. And then when I say be open to how that might look, because immediately we have an idea or an expectation of what that's going to look like. We expect, the spirit guide to come walking into our dream and just be like, "Hi, my name's Joe and I'm your spirit guide," but it's probably not going to happen that way. So it's also really important to kind of set aside what preconceived notions and expectations you have with
Mm.
your experiences in the dream world and be open to something else.
Mm. That's great advice.
Yeah. I'm like making a mental note. I'm gonna try this out tonight. Um, I'm curious too, like, do you know who specifically is in your spirit team when you are meeting with them in your dream world or in your dreams?
Yeah, I know who my guides are. However, my guides really come through with like these downloads. So I very rarely sit there and consciously converse with my guides. It literally comes through imagery and um yeah, like literally like I was when I was explaining those like kind of oracle dreams when the message is like downloaded into me, like I feel them around me. I
Mm.
feel my guides, like my guides are more of like a sensation and
Uh-huh.
just like a knowing versus here are my guides and like I know this is so and so, this so and so, this so and so, this is so and so. It's not like that.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay. 'Cause I'm curious if it's like, if you work with like different ascended masters or teachers, or if they are transitioned loved ones, or like who, if that even matters, like who, because you're mentioning that you work with your higher self as well. So it sounds like your higher self is part of that spirit team that you're
Mhm.
kind of receiving from.
Mhm. Yeah, like these guides that I have, I there's one that is from my ancestral line, but the
Mm.
rest are not. I know there's another one that comes from another past life that I've had or lives that I've had. And then others, I think that they're just here to help me with different areas and aspects of my life.
Wow.
Does it change sometimes depending on who the client is?
I feel like it's kind of all my guides.
Mm, interesting.
Mhm.
Do they ever
Yeah.
bring your clients' guides in?
I don't meet my clients' guides.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. That's a different
It's
process. That's really
it's
cool.
like it's like my guides meet their guides.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Like a layer of protection.
Yeah, or just like interpretation. They're like my interpreters.
Oh, I get that. That's
Yeah.
rad.
So let's talk a little bit about this
Mhm.
Dream Oracle School too, because
Sure.
I'm super fascinated by just the offering itself. And yeah, let's just start from the beginning and just describe what Dream Oracle School is and what you learn. And I know that even you offer us like a certificate at the end of the completion of the school too. Yeah, like let's dive in and just kind of talk about it.
Sure. So there's basically two avenues with my Dream Oracle School. So everybody kind of starts in the same avenue, and that is, anybody who's interested in dreams. If you're dream curious, you want to start understanding what the messages in your dreams are and understanding your personal dream language and learning how to use the lunar cycle and the different planets in the dreaming process. So that's kind of like everybody learns that. And
Mm.
then, as you made note to the certification, that's for people who want to do Dream Oracle readings and provide this as an offering to others. They can choose to take the practicum portion in addition to the school in order to get certification.
There's, like, nothing like this that I've
Yeah.
Mhm.
found. Not that I'm, like, actively looking, but it just
It's so
it
unique.
yeah, like, I feel like you're the only person that I know of that I've come across that's offering something like this.
Yeah,
Have you
I
met anybody
I
else?
I haven't. Like, there's other people who do dream workshops and courses on dreams and connecting with dreams, but I haven't seen anybody who does exactly what I do, and I haven't come across any other dream oracles that go into the dream world on somebody else's behalf. And this is partially why I created this school is because, as I was starting to share things on social media, people were reaching out to me saying like, "Oh my gosh, I think I have the same gift. And what do I do with it? How do I access it? How do I
So cool.
help others with it?" So that's when I started shifting and like thinking, okay, this gift is powerful and this gift can help so many people. And so,
Mhm.
how can I empower these other people to also empower other people? Because I can only, it's okay, I'll be totally honest. A dream oracle is not efficient in the sense of like I can do 100 clients a month kind of thing. Like I
Right.
can't, like I'm limited by how much I can sleep. And
Mhm.
so there's only so many dream oracle readings that I can do. But if I can train other people to awaken their own inner dream oracle and help others, then that's amazing. So
Yeah.
that's why I
I
created it.
love that.
Mhm.
Who do you think this Dream Oracle School is for, aside from those who feel like they also have the gift?
I think it's for anybody who wants to start diving into their dreams for um, spiritual practice, spiritual tool, learning to dream yourself awake. B, like I said, people who are just, they know that their dreams are talking to them and or are curious to understand their dreams. I think that's who it's for.
And this is something that anybody can learn.
I don't think anybody can be a dream oracle. I think I think anybody can learn to be more consciously aware in the dream world and start receiving messages. Not every night receive messages. I don't receive messages every night. Um, I mean, it's possible. But um, yeah, so I don't think there's not everybody is a dream oracle, but there are people, everybody who is curious about their dreams and wants to explore their dreams more, then they can.
Got it.
And I think people will know, like people will feel that pull on their heartstrings, like their soul strings. Like, okay, this
Yeah.
this feels aligned. Like I want to explore this more and dive in
And
and
I
see
would
where.
imagine if somebody had the gift to be a dream oracle, like as soon as that started opening up, you'd know.
Mhm,
It doesn't
mhm.
seem like that's something that you'd be like, "Oh, I'll just sleep through that."
Yeah, that little tidbit there was pretty
Yeah.
fast.
And I know that you have the school is starting, is it tomorrow?
It started yesterday. It
It
started on
started
the
yesterday.
2nd, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Is it too late to sign up?
Um, yeah.
Okay. Dang it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Um, I'm hoping that I will open it up again, but it is up to spirit. My intention and my hopes is in the springtime, I'll open enrollment up again, so spring 2021, but it's really up to spirit.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I hope your spirit team tells you yes. Oh,
Yeah.
in the meantime, though, how can somebody, find you if they want to work with you?
They can go to my website, which is hollyemerson.com, and I'll share all the links with you so you have that. If they want to explore more about what I offer as well, I'm pretty active on my Instagram page, which is Dream Oracle Holly. So those are the two best places, and then my YouTube channel. But all those links are like in my profile on my website, so they can find all of that stuff there.
Amazing.
Amazing.
And
Sam, do
this
you have
is
any other
so incredible. I'm like, I can't wait to talk again to find out like what is happening.
I know. I love this. Like there's just I'm so grateful that like my team I think just pulled me into your article and was just like, check this out. Because I
Listen
don't
to it.
often, yeah, I don't often like look at who wrote it and who writes these articles and actually seek after them. So I think this conversation that we're having right now is very much intentional. And I think it's very much our collective teams wanting this to get out and to be shared.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. This is awesome.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you reached out and so grateful that you have had me on your podcast. So thank you.
Music for Woo New is composed by Adam Miller.